welcome to day 4 of Vlogmas. It is Friday the 4th of December. Not the best lighting here again today. Dark, cold, wet, miserable, but I just wanted to pop on just to say hello, and I hope you're all well and I hope you're all having a good day. I haven't got that many things planned for the rest of today. I've been out for a walk with a friend of mine this morning. We got absolutely drenched in the rain, but I was warm because I had my hat on, hence the hat hair, and I had my my cowl on, my Dance Like No One's Watching cowl. And this is my pattern, the first pattern I released, and my patterns incidentally are on buy one get one free until Tuesday if you fancy having one of those. It is Friday today, and I just wanted to say I'm going to try and get this vlog uploaded tonight, but for the weekend I'm probably going to put Saturdays and Sundays vlogs together and then upload them either on Sunday night or kind of overnight, Sunday to Monday, because Eloise is going to be here over the weekend and I'm hoping to be able to film, excuse me, some of the things that we're doing together. I've got some sewing planned at the weekend with her, which will be really nice, but because she's here it just means that I haven't got quite as much time for editing, so I'm probably going to put the weekend days together, and then that will probably be the way that it goes for the other weekends in December, and also after she's finished school for the Christmas holidays. I haven't, as I say, got a lot of plans for today, so what I thought I would do is I would just talk you through some of the craft projects that I am working on at the moment. They are all knitting projects. I've got some sewing projects to talk about over the weekend, so let me turn you round and I will show you those. Okay, so yesterday I put a little bit of footage in that I was casting on another dandelion hat, which I am knitting up in this yarn, which from memory is a Sirdar Snuggly. I'll pop on the screen what it is. I did kind of film the label yesterday so you could see, but it's got kind of like a Fair Isle effect to it, and it's got peaches and beige, very kind of pale beige, and then a sort of creamy white colours in it. This is the yarn that I'm going to use for the dandelion hat for Eloise's teaching assistant. I showed you the one that I had made for her teacher earlier in the week, and so this is the one that I'm going to use. So I've done the same thing again. I've used a different colour for the cast on edge. I'm not sure whether you can see that terribly well. Let's see if I can get it to focus. So it's a very pale pink, and then I'm going to do the body of the hat in this colour, and then I'm going to do a pom-pom in the pale pink as well. So that's something that I'm working on. It should only take me, you know, a couple of evenings or something, and so that's one project that I've got. And then another project that I'm going to be casting on is using this. This is Sirdar Dapple. So the composition of that, if you can just see there, is 75% acrylic, 25% wool. And it's in this kind of purpley blue tone. Now I don't think you can still get this colour. I think it has been discontinued, but I know Sirdar Dapple is actually still available as a type of yarn. I made my country garden mittens out of an orangey version of this, but what I'm going to cast on with this is I'm going to cast on another of my Dance Like No One's Watching cowls. Let me just take off the one that I've got on, just so that you can see it there. So we've got very simple lace throughout. This one is the sample that I made for when I released the pattern, is actually in 4 different mini skeins held with a strand of Suri alpaca, baby Suri alpaca and silk. That's right, isn't it? I think floof anyway, but that you can also knit it up in a single strand of DK weight yarn. So that's what I'm going to do here. A friend of mine has asked me to knit up one of these as a gift, as a Christmas gift for her to give to her sister-in-law, so I'm going to be doing that. So that's going to be cast on over the weekend as well. Again, this is only going to take a few evenings or a few afternoons next week, because it just comes together really nice and quickly. So that is what I'm going to be doing with that. And then the other project that I'm going to be thinking about casting on over the weekend, I'll just get some bits and pieces and I'll talk you through that now. Okay, so I've got out what I wanted to talk to you about. Now, if you've watched the first episode of my podcast, you will have seen me talk about this before. This is, it's called Alaska Yarn by Rossetti, and it is, let me see if I can find the yarn composition for you. It's over here. Let's turn it around this way. So it is, where are we? 44% acrylic, 26% polyamide, so nylon, 15% superwash fine merino wool, and 15% alpaca. And this is 50 grams. And let me see how much. Yeah, so you've got 225 meters to 50 grams. So it's about a fingering weight kind of thickness of yarn. If I just show it you there, it does look kind of quite similar to how a strand of floof or mohair would be. It is obviously ever so slightly thicker, being more of a kind of a, I'd say it's a light fingering weight kind of thickness to it. What I'm going to do with that, I really want to knit my sister-in-law a cowl for Christmas. She does a lot of walking, and obviously when you're out walking, you know, you get cold around the neck and things, so I want to make her a nice cowl. And what I thought I would do is, because I've got lots and lots of kind of little bits of minis and scrappy yarns, I thought I would make her one using scraps, and I would hold, because they're all fingering weight scraps, and I would hold it double with this and see how that turns out, because it's got, I mean, it has got an acrylic content in there, so I assume it's probably pretty easy to wash. It does say hand wash on here, but I mean, it's not going to be, you know, ridiculously kind of stressful to wash. It has got some alpaca in there, so I think that'll be really nice and warm, and it's also got the nylon, which is going to give it kind of strength and durability. So I'm going to hold that with some scraps. And what I thought I would do is, because I want to use scraps and I want the colours of the yarn to kind of show up and show through, is I'm just going to do a really basic cowl, either maybe just some garter and stockinette. So I'm going to have a go at that. Holding that with some fingering weight yarn, and if I manage to get something together that I like, what I will do is I will write it up, and I'll probably just pop it out, if I can get my words out, pop it out as a free pattern, because it's not going to be anything, you know, it's not going to have any kind of stitch pattern to it. There might be a little bit of texture within it, but I just thought it'd be really nice to do a really basic cowl. So just casting on, you know, a certain number of stitches, knitting effectively a tube. Yeah, so I think if that turns out well, and that's a nice thing to do, then I will, yeah, I think I'm going to pop that out as a free pattern, just as a thank you for everybody's support really this year with my shop and my pattern designs and things. So that's something else that I'm going to cast on over the weekend, and I will keep you updated on progress with that. The other thing that I was going to mention to you, let me find something more interesting to show you whilst I talk about it. There we go. Much nicer to look at lots of lovely yarn minis than just look at the same thing that I've just been talking about. The colour is dreadful, so I'm going to keep holding things up for you bit by bit. These are the minis that I showed you the other day when I was talking about, or some of the minis that I showed you the other day when I was talking about knitting up the Kalani Scarf, which is Amy from Taylor S Studios' new pattern. And I mentioned at the time that I was thinking about just knitting it up with a single strand of fingering weight yarn and not holding it double with any kind of alpaca or mohair. But having thought about it, I think that to get the look and the feel that I want, I am going to prefer it if I hold it with the Surrey alpaca or the mohair. So I have ordered some more floof. I've ordered it from Jane at Hedgerow Yarns. Could that have been any more ideal? That's a mini from Jane at Hedgerow Yarns. Yeah, I've ordered it from her because if you are looking for undyed Surrey Silk Cloud, I think is what it's called. It's something like 74% baby alpaca and 36% silk, or whatever the numbers are there to add up. She has undyed 50-gram skeins of that, and they're £10.50 each. Really, really affordable if you want to be holding that in your projects. And so I have ordered it And I've ordered the undyed because I think with the undyed, which is what I used in the in my cowl, let me see if I can get a better colour there. Can you see? You're still getting the peachy colour. This was ballet slippers from West Green Loft Yarns. You're still getting the peachy tone coming through, even though you're holding it with the alpaca. This is Margot. From West Green Loft Yarns, the second colour that I used, and you're still getting the speckles coming through. This one was Serendipity, which you can still see all the pinky colours through, and this one was Chintz, and you've got the lovely pink speckles coming through. So I think you'll still get quite a good representation of these minis, even if you are holding them with a strand of Suri alpaca. So these are some of the ones that I'm planning to use within the scarf. Some of them are Kate Celine. This one is a Kate Celine, although it hasn't got the label on. That's got to be Kate Celine, hasn't it? Yes, it is, in fact, because I can see that the twine on there. This one looks like it's Kate Celine as well. And then these are just so lovely. These were sent to me by Sharon from Pink Lime Crafts as part of Get Your Yarn Wishes Granted. That's another Kate Celine one there. And this one is Kate Celine as well. Really, really lovely. Sharon did send me a card telling me who they were all by, and I know that there were Kate Celine Hedgerow yarns and Wild Rose yarns in here. So I think that's probably a Hedgerow yarns one, looking at that. I do love Jane's colours. I've actually ordered with the Suri alpaca that I've ordered some a skein for me to use in a shawl, and I've also ordered some as a Christmas present for my mother-in-law. She's recently started knitting. She's got the knitting bug. I think that's probably Wild Rose Yarns, that one. And so she really likes the Country Garden mitts that I knitted at the beginning of the year, so I'm going to get her a copy of that pattern as well as a gift and pop it together with the yarn, and I'll show you those, of course, when they arrive. So yeah, that's my plan for the Kalani scarf. So I need to get kind of putting things together and working out the order that I'm going to put things in so that everything is ready to be cast on Christmas Eve. And as I'm talking to you about these things, I've just remembered something else that I wanted to show you, so I will be back with you in a minute. Okay, so two other things to show you. This is the bag that I had from Jeanette on the first day of Advent, and at the moment I'm keeping all my Advent goodies in there, but I'm going to be putting the cowl that I'm going to cast on into that bag. So this is what I got today. That is not a true indication of the colour at all. It's looking very, very orange, but it's actually more, I mean, it is orange, but it's not quite that bright. Is it going to come out properly? Let's move the camera about a bit. It's funny, you know, I find this when taking photographs, sometimes you can just move it a fraction and it does focus better for you. I'm probably going to end up editing this out now. There you go. That's not too bad, but yeah, it's a really lovely kind of mixture of kind of burnt oranges and kind of yellows and browns and things. So that was from my Advent today. And the other thing that I wanted to show you is these lovely stitch markers that arrived today. So I'm going to try and do this with one hand and not move the camera about too much. Now, Hook It Yourself. Her name is Sarah. Yes, it is. Sarah, her company is Hook It Yourself. And what she does is she does subscription boxes for knitting and crochet, and she does like a beginner's box, she does a baby project box, so you get everything in the box that you need to make a particular project, and I think it's a monthly subscription service. Sarah, I'm sorry, I'm probably not explaining that very well at all for you there, but I granted one of Sarah's wishes for Get Your Yarn Wishes Granted. She wanted a project bag, so I made and sent her a project bag, and so I sort of came across her in that way. And then at the weekend on Instagram, she posted that she had these stitch markers in her shop. And I saw them and I just thought, oh, they're so lovely. And so I decided to order some. So you get a set of 3, and they've all got the kind of lever back fastening on. I'm pretty sure she still has a few of these in her shop, but if she doesn't have these particular ones, she does have other sets. But you get a set of 3, and they're really good quality, really quite substantial stitch markers for £4, and the postage is free. So I think that is an absolute bargain. And yeah, I'm really looking forward to using those. So I think I'm going to pop one of those into my project bag with my cowl that I'm going to start knitting, and have it to mark my place on the at the beginning or the end of my round, as the case may be. Do you know what? It's actually a lot harder to find the words to speak properly when you're vlogging than when you're podcasting somehow. I think when I sit down to podcast, I seem to be in the zone a little bit more. Anyway, I'm going to wrap it up there in terms of the chatting about my projects bit today. I may check in again with you a little bit later on, but if not, then just remember that the weekend vlogs are going to be posted up together, Saturday and Sunday, so you probably won't get a vlog posted from me tomorrow.
Lots of toys, all for the little ones' Christmas joys. Ho, 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 who wouldn't go? Ho, 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 who wouldn't go? Up on the housetop, click, 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 down through the chimney with good Saint Nick.
Knock, knock.
Who's there?
It's Mummy.
Mummy?
What's going on in here?
This is my den.
Your den? What have you got in your den?
A tiara and cushion and a blanket.
Are you going to sleep now?
No.
What are you going to do then?
I'm going to go out of the den.
Oh. Go.